Hey everybody, welcome to another Legends of 40K video as I knock the camera around. This time we're looking at the Blood Angels Codex, and we're still looking at a squad upgrade special character. Because, you know, why not? And this one, we're looking at Lemartes, Guardian of the Lost. A pretty cool special character in my opinion. He's a squad upgrade special character slash Chaplain type of special character, so it's like I would guess you would call it a hybrid, because you can't take him without the squad. And he's not an independent character or an HQ, he's, in this case, a troop. But at the same time, he's a chaplain, so that's pretty interesting. He's an upgrade for the Death Company. Pretty much the Death Company can include Lemartes. And let's get right to it. He's 150 points. He's expensive. He's HQ expensive. Weapon skill of 5, ballistic skill of 4, strength and toughness of 4, 2 wounds, initiative 6, 2 attacks, leadership 10, 3 plus save. He's unique. He's got jump infantry. He's got power armor, bolt pistol, the blood croziers, frag and crack grenades, jump pack, and Rosarius. Remember, the Rosarius gives him a 4 plus invuln saves, so he has an invuln save. He's got special rules: Descent of Angels, the Black Rage, Fearless, Fear No Pain, Furious Charge, Fury Unbound, Liturgies of Blood, and Relentless. So let's look at his specific war gear and special rules. The Blood Crozius is a massive crafted power weapon. Nice, nothing super crazy or cool, but nice. Let's look at Liturgies of Blood. On a player turn in which they assault, Lemartes and his Death Company can reroll failed rolls to hit and to wound. Then we have Fury Unbound. If a foe harms Lemartes, the Chaplain's Rage just grows stronger for the provocation. If Lemartes suffers an unsaved wound but is not slain, his strength and attacks both immediately increase to 5. So that's pretty cool. Now, it doesn't say for the remainder of the battle, but I think that's implied. I haven't noticed it said it in the FAQ errata PDF for the Blood Angels, but that'd be worth checking out. So, before I go into what I think about his unit entry and how I would use him, let's talk about his model. And first and foremost, I just want to say I'm a huge fan of this model. If the Terminator Chaplain model didn't exist in the way it does now, if the older one was still around, I would say this would be my favorite Chaplain model, to be honest with you. And this is a great example of a character, a special character, who's had, or however you're supposed to say that correctly, I'm a little tired, who has had his own model already. He's had a model. He had a model. It wasn't bad. I wasn't a big fan of it. I didn't really like the posing. It was a little bit too dynamic in posing. But he had a model. And this is a complete resculpt for Lemartes, and let me tell you, it is fantastic. I love it. I think it's great. So this is a very good example of taking a character who's had a model already and reworking them, and I think coming out with a home run. If it wasn't for all the Blood Angels iconography, I would use it as a chaplain for any Space Marine chapter, really. And if I play Blood Angels, which I've always been heavily tempted to do since I got into this hobby, and I wasn't utilizing Lemartes, but I wanted a Chaplain model, I would buy this just to have it as a Chaplain model. I think it's great looking. So, suffice to say, in short, I like the model. Alright. Moving on. His entry. He's expensive. He's HQ expensive. But what you're getting is basically a mini HQ, which is not what you often get with a special character upgrade. Usually you don't get that. You get like a zooped up sergeant, so to speak. But this, you pretty much have a basically full-on HQ, considering well, really elite, because with the Blood Angels, Chaplains are elites. But you're getting basically a mini HQ even there, and Lemartes is now that in the troop section for the Death Company. So yeah, that's really cool. But I don't want to sound like I think he's like the best. He does have his weaknesses, and I'll go into that more in a moment. But I would say for what you're paying for him, it would be nice to see. I don't know, maybe him having a death mask, for example. He used to have a death mask. I don't think he has a death mask anymore. No, it would be not. His helmet used to be considered a death mask, I believe, if I remember correctly, for the old rules. It'd be nice just for him to still have that, considering the points you're spending on him. But a third wound would also be nice, but not necessary. So that's the only thing I would say I would like to see on him, was one or the other. Preferably the death mask, because, you know, he had that. But anyway, how would I use Lemartes? Well, in order to talk about that, I gotta talk a little bit about how I would utilize the Death Company. And by the way, if I say Death Watch by accident, I apologize. I've been saying Death Watch a lot lately, just like, well, not saying a lot, but think about them a lot lately, so it may just slip out. But anyway, Death Company here. See, I already confused myself on which one I'm supposed to say in that little blurb. But Death Company. I personally like Death Company at least 10 man strong, because I like spending lots of points on a squad. But aside from that, I don't know, I just like the 10 strong Death Company, but you can do 5 if you wanted to. But for how I plan to let me reword that without really screwing up that sentence and having it get gridlocked. The way in which I would want to use Death Company would require a 10-man squad at the very least. What I would do is make 2 guys have a power weapon, and 2 guys with either a power fist or a thunder hammer. What this does is it makes you a little more dangerous on initiative, especially with Furious Charge, and to help out with that. And with the Furious Charge helping out, because hopefully you're going to get the charge every turn. Or not every turn, but every time in which you assault, hopefully you're getting the charge and not being charged. The Power Fist / Thunder Hammer will go up to a Strength 9 instead of being just Strength 8, which can help you deal with higher toughness things, or if you have to charge into vehicles, having a Power Fist or Thunder Hammer just charging into the vehicle will be helpful. And they're going to have all those extra bodies around them in that squad to keep the wounds off of them. Lemartes just adds so much to that. Now, if you're going to take Lemartes, you're going to have to give your Death Company jump packs. At this point, he has a jump pack, you might as well give the rest of them jump packs. And you're investing a lot of points, I know, but I think it's worth it personally. Because you're not taking this squad to be economical, really. You're taking this squad to kick some ass and take some names, and this is going to help them do that. And whether or not you do that, wow, I totally lost my train of thought. And whether or not you do that with the Descent of Angels rule for deep striking in, or you would do that, you would just stay on the board from deployment, is up to you. However, those with the power weapon, like I said, I kind of got a little bit tangent there. 2 of the guys with the power weapons, they'd have bolt pistols, because you have to choose between a bolt gun or a bolt pistol. Those with a power fist or a thunder hammer would get a bolt gun, because they don't get the benefit of having a bolt pistol and a power fist or a thunder hammer. And the rest of the squad would have both guns. Why? Relentless. The squad's relentless. They can fire those bolt guns and still charge. Very handy for thinning out numbers before you're charging them, doing some little bit of extra wounds. And that's pretty, I think personally, pretty brutal, being able to move quick with the jump packs in this case. Jumping in, blasting all the time with your bolt guns, getting up close and personal, right in the charge range, double tapping with all those bolt guns, and then charging in. And again, Lemartes doesn't really change that at all, but he just lends his own weight to that type of squad. Now remember, Chaplains are aggressive. Lemartes is no exception. Death Company is aggressive. Putting two together, you're gonna have an aggressive squad to go out there. Don't overextend yourself with them again, because if you get too far forward, even if you wipe out the squad you charge into, you can be left high and dry and getting shot at. But I just wanted to mention that before I continue talking about it. What does Lemartes lend then? Okay, he doesn't really lend much until the assault phase. He really helps when it comes to charging in, because he has the Liturgies of Blood, which is better than the Liturgies of Hate, or as they call it now, of Battle, because it doesn't just do rerolling to hit, it also does rerolling to wound, and that's nice. And on the charge, Lemartes is huge. He's got Initiative 6 standard. So when he charges in with Furious Charge, he's got Initiative 7. So he's probably going to go first. And then depending on what you're charging into, your Death Company is going to go, and then your opponent's going to go. He doesn't have that many attacks. On the charge he has 4, which is good, especially for a squad upgrade special character. So on the charge he's going to have 4 at Strength 5, at Initiative 7, power weapon attacks that go at Initiative. So when you add that to all the attacks you're going to get with Death Company on top, and then those power weapon, and then eventually those power weapon attacks, you're pretty much going to cut through a lot of what you're assaulting, for the most part, depending on what it is, and depending how well or how bad you roll in conjunction with how well or bad your opponent rolls. Thinking hard about squad upgrade special characters, I would have to say I think Lemartes is probably the strongest one, because of what you get. You get basically a Chaplain, and that's huge. He's got an invulnerability save of 4+. You can combine this with his Fury Unbound special rule, where he can get those his strength and attacks up to 5 if he gets wounded without being killed, which is, you know, it's not hard to do, but it's a little bit different. It's actually, because he's not an independent character, easier, I think, than if he was, and keeping him alive. What I would do is, I would put a wound on him that was a power weapon wound, or something that ignores an armor save. Not instant death, per se, because you don't want to risk, unless you really want to risk that, but I personally wouldn't for his point cost. But like a power weapon, or a rending hit from an assault cannon, or just a rending hit in general, or even as an AP3 shot, or something like that. Put it on him. He's got a 50-50 chance of making it. If he makes it, that's great. No wound done. If he fails it, you don't lose a member of your squad, and he gets his Fury Unbound. Either way you win. You had a chance to prevent it, and if you don't prevent it, you don't lose a guy, you just get a guy to get really pissed off. And that's cool. So that's how I do it. He does have Feel No Pain. Remember the restrictions for Feel No Pain. AP3 does not fall into that. So if you get shot with AP3 bolters, for example, you still get your Feel No Pain for the squad as well. But or something AP3 happens that it hits him, and he would get his invuln save, and then he would get Feel No Pain after that. So he has a double chance to negate it. Even if he ends up not negating it, then he gets 1 wound, yes, but he gets essentially super pissed, and that makes him do better. So that's how I would utilize him. In a Death Company squad of 10 with jump packs to jump with him, whether or not you use Descent of Angels, which is deep striking in, or you start off on the battlefield, is up to you. Don't overextend yourself by just jumping them too far ahead of your army. Utilize cover, utilize rolling cover in the form of vehicles if you can as well. And don't underestimate the power of bolters in your Death Company squad to help soften up the target before you assault into it. Remember, being relentless, so you can definitely utilize those bolters a lot. You lose 1 attack overall in the assault phase, but all the shots you gain, I think, more than make up for it. Anyways, I hope that was a little bit of an insight and of help into thinking about Lemartes, Guardian of the Lost. A very cool model, and I think a very cool squad upgrade special character. Probably the strongest one out there so far. So until next time, take it easy.